Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Madalas po nating bigyang diin itong idea na ito no, in previous episodes. Ang bawat application po na sinasubmit sa IRCC, at the end of the day, responsibilidad po talaga yan ng mismong applicant. Kahit pa ikaw ay nagbayad ng isang immigration consultant or immigration lawyer o kung sino mang immigration practitioner to file an application on your behalf. At the end of the day, yung applicant mismo ang may responsibilidad to ensure na yung kanyang isasubmit ay walang peking impormasyon. Okay? Walang peking impormasyon, walang peking dokumento. Lahat tunay. I know there are many times na ang mga applications nare-refuse dahil sa negligence nung immigration professional na tumutulong sa applicant. Okay. Unfortunately, hindi po at all times maaawa sa inyo yung IRCC o maiintindihan kayo ng IRCC or ng federal court. Sakaling dumating ko yung sa punto na i-a-appeal ninyo yung refusal dahil sa kamalian ng inyong consultant. Okay? Hindi porke sasabihin mo sa kanila na niloko ko ni consultant. Sana isang tabi ninyo yung refusal, okay, o yung misrepresentation finding. It might work in some situations. Depende po yan kung talagang mapatunayan ni applicant that he or she exerted every effort to ensure na yung application niya ay above board. In this case that we are going to talk about, a federal court decision, ito po ang nangyari, no? Na-refuse ang kanyang PGWP application dahil nag-submit daw si consultant ng peking transcripts. Pumunta ng federal court itong applicant at sinisi si consultant. Pero wala. Okay? Ang sabi ni judge, hindi. Responsibilidad mo yan na alamin. Responsibilidad mo pa rin yung application mo. At ang sabi, later on I will read that portion. Sabi, hindi ka nag-exert ng due diligence from your end to ensure na yung application mo ay tama. Okay? Puntahan natin ang storyang ito. Bago lang po ito, June 29, 2026. Okay, the applicant, yung na-refuse yung kanyang PGWP, came to Canada on a study permit to attend Conestoga College. Later on, nag-apply for PGWP in order to remain in Canada with his wife. The PGWP application was refused because of fraudulent documentation, okay, na provided to support the applicant's application, specifically fraudulent transcript and completion of studies letter from Canadore College. Iba pong college, okay, na supposedly kanyang pinasukan. So thus, he was found inadmissible to Canada for misrepresentation, banned siya for a period of 5 years. Pumunta ngayon ng federal court, arguing na yung inadmissibility for misrepresentation finding was unreasonable. Ano yung main grounds ni applicant? Sabi niya, ito no, kung siya ay pinadalan ng PFL, yun yung Procedural Fairness Letter. Kasi nga nakita na hindi tunay yung kanyang transcript and other school records. Pinadalan siya ng PFL para ipaliwanag. Ang sinasite niya doon, sana pagbigyan ako at i-apply yung tinatawag na innocent mistake exception. Okay, to misrepresentation. Innocent mistake exception. Kasi nga guys, while you will learn, sinisisi niya po kasi yung consultant niya na siyang nag-submit daw ng peking dokumento. Okay. Ano ba tong innocent mistake exception? I found this other resource from canada.ca talking about a case, no? Kung saan may mention tungkol dito sa innocent mistake exception. According to a previous court decision, an applicant may be excused from misrepresentation only where there has been an innocent mistake. So, merong mga pagkakataon na pwede mong sabihin na inosente ko dyan sa kalokohan ng consultant ko, hindi ko alam. Okay? The innocent mistake exception, however, is narrow. It applies only to truly extraordinary circumstances where an applicant honestly and reasonably believed that they were not misrepresenting or withholding a material fact, and the knowledge of the misrepresentation has to be beyond the applicant's control. So, kailangan patunayan mo na talagang honest ka dun sa situation na hindi mo alam yung nangyari. Ginawa mo naman yung part mo to ensure na magandang yung application. Okay? In this case, hindi na kumbinse si judge na innocent mistake ito. Okay? Okay, bakit hindi na kumbinse dito sa innocent mistake exception? Puntahan natin yung GCMS notes ni assessing officer who refused the application. Okay. Una sa lahat, habang pinaprocess yung kanyang application, nung nasa point na ina-assess yung verification ng kanyang documents, nag-request pa pala ng withdrawal of the application itong si applicant. Yun nga lang, nauna daw yung verification results nung application, okay, bago nakuha yung withdrawal request. So, natuloy pa rin dun sa findings of fraudulent documentation. At sumunod roon, pinadalan siya ng PFL para ipaliwanag bakit peki itong sinabit mo. Yan. A PFL was issued to the applicant. Okay? Ano yung sagot niya sa PFL? Makikita natin dito, no? The applicant noted na nag-aral siya sa Conestoga College before moving to a private college. He described that when he married, he wanted to apply for a spousal open work permit. But he was informed by every consultant he consulted that it was not possible because his wife did not have a full-time job. He finally found a consultant who told him that he could get a work permit for 3 years. The applicant provided the consultant with documentation, paid him $2,000 in cash, and the consultant applied for the applicant. Dito pa lang magdududa ka na sa intensyon ni applicant. Sinabihan na pala siya nung mga ibang consultant na kinausap niya, okay, na hindi ka posibleng makakuha ng spousal open work permit. No? Hindi siya tumigil, naghanap siya ng consultant na magbibigay sa kanya ng gusto niyang marinig. Yun ang nangyari. Tapos ang final, PGWP. Okay. Tapos, peking dokumento yung sinubmit, peking transcript from the private college. It's unclear to me, no, kung ano nangyari. Tinapos ba muna niya yung course niya sa Conestoga or hindi. Okay? Anyway, the applicant also recounted waiting for updates and after a lengthy period with no response, visiting the consultant with his spouse. And after an argument with the consultant and paying him another $2,000, the applicant says he was given login credentials and gained access to his online account. He was still unaware, however, of what was included in the application that was filed. May mali Parang may disconnect, binigyan siya ng access sa kanyang online account pero hindi pa rin daw niya alam kung ano yung final. Okay. The applicant asserted that he lost contact with the consultant for a long time. He tried messaging the consultant on WhatsApp, but they have disappearing messages on. Nako, isa pang red flag yan. Which erases messages from the conversation log after 24 hours. The applicant included WhatsApp screenshots with some of the consultant's responses to the applicant's queries about the documents filed with this application. The screenshots are undated, and in them, the purported consultant claims that they only filed the documents that the applicant and his wife had given them. O, tinan mo, may kaduda-duda pa. Doon daw sa mismong WhatsApp exchange, ang sinasabi ni consultant, sinabit ko lang naman kung ano yung binigay ninyo. Okay. The applicant ended his response by stating that he did not study at Canadore College and did not submit the fraudulent documents. He indicated that he withdrew his application because of frustration that it was taking more than a year. The applicant also stated that he wanted to apply with his wife, who was applying for her own work permit extension. He attached all of his and his wife's documentation and offered to come in for an interview. Alam mo, parang ang dami kong katanungan tungkol dito sa kanyang kwento. Una, sinabi niya, he studied at Conestoga before moving to a private college. Ano yung private college na yun? Kasi at the end, sinabi din niya, hindi naman siya nag-aral dun sa Canadore College. I assumed yun yung private college. Okay. Hindi rin ako sure, no? Ano ba si status ni wife? I think may role din yun dito sa story niya, no? Anyway, ang sagot ni officer, while the officer comments that it was unfortunate and the applicant experienced difficulties with a consultant, he said that the applicant should have initially questioned the consultant for more information and application details. Yan na yung sinasabi natin, di ba? Dapat alamin mo pa rin. Okay? Mula sa consultant mo kung ano ba yung nilagay mo dyan. And guys, it is highly encouraged. Document your communication with your consultant or your immigration practitioner na tumutulong sa inyo para meron ko yung pruweba. Okay? Ito pa isang problema. Wala palang ginamit na use of representative form. Okay, yan yung fifilapan mo. Kung ikaw ay kumuha ng isang consultant. Wala rin pala. Ano ba yan? Okay? Walang use of form representative at ang sabi ni officer, it's the applicant's responsibility to determine the consultant's integrity and genuineness. Ano ang sabi ni judge? Tama si officer. Sabi niya, in my view, the officer's reasons highlight the applicant's lack of due diligence in retaining the consultant and in reviewing what was submitted to the IRCC on the applicant's behalf. Okay. Agree daw siya sa officer that because the applicant consulted multiple consultants who advised him that it was not possible to obtain the work permit he sought, this compounded the need for due diligence on his part. The applicant's lack of due diligence means the officer was not required to address yung ina-assert niya na innocent mistake. Okay, asserted innocent misrepresentation or mistake. So yun po ang ending. Ako palagay ko, this is my opinion, I think the applicant partly knew what was happening. Sinabihan na nga siya ng ibang mga consultant na alanganin yung application niya. Kung meron pa siyang ibang option na legal noon, I'm sure nasabi na rin siguro sa kanya nung mga dating nung mga unang consultant na kanyang tinanong, no? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Baka meron kayong karanasan na naloko kayo ng consultant, tapos na-refuse, what happened? Let me know down there in the comment section. I'll end this episode here. Bye, guys!